Welcome back guys, Slowback in here. So Total War have released a Battle of the Beastmen Let's Play, so I thought we'd watch it together and give you my live reactions as we go through it. So I have not seen this. So it should be quite interesting.
Hello everybody, Darren here from the community team, and today we're going to be doing a battle let's play with the Call of the Beastmen DLC for Total War Warhammer. And as you can see by this crazy environment around me,
Absolutely love the environment first off, let's just get that out of the way.
Battle maps, or battle environment I should say. There are multiple maps in the game that support this environment, including multiple land battles, ambush and subterranean. This is a custom subterranean battle where I'm playing as the Beastmen versus Empire. So if you have a look at the absolutely fantastic detail, we've got these kind of pulsating, bulging organic material coming out of these absolutely giant...
Nice to see Darren back too.
Those trees down on the ground, those are the normal trees that you'd see in the game. These giant ones around us is what creates the Beastway. So I noticed on this map there's this lovely asteroid that plonked down in the corner of the battle map, and the Beastmen seem to have set their camp up around it, and they've dismantled their camp now. We're getting ready to go for a fight. You can see all the bones of different things and people that they've been eating. So here we have the not so friendly Minotaurs, which you also may have seen with the introducing video we put up recently. These guys are basically your monstrous infantry.
Now, this may just be a cultural difference, but is it Minotaurs or Minotaurs? I've heard Minotaurs quite a lot coming out of the British crew over at Total War.
Monstrous infantry. They do a huge amount of damage, have a very high charge bonus, and just tear into infantry. Now I don't want to spend too much time going through all the units, but we will have a look at some of the brand new ones, and I'll hopefully get to zoom in during the battle at some point to show you kind of how they look when they're in combat.
It's a very long, narrow map though, isn't it?
Lord for the Beastmen. Personally, I just think he looks pretty cool, so that's why I chose him. He's got wings coming out of his back. Right, we'll have a little zoom in on him and take a look at him. Now, Malagor actually uses the Lore of the Wild, and I haven't given him all the spells. He's not fully ranked up yet. And the Bray Shaman actually uses the Lore of the Beast. So hopefully throughout this battle we'll get to see a little bit of spells coming from both of these guys. Again, Lore of the Beast, I haven't fully upgraded him, but I've given him a couple spells which are pretty hard hitting, so hopefully we'll get to see them. Then we have a Gorebull. Now this is your melee specialist. He's a high damage dealer, he's armored, armor piercing. He actually has some very cool, unique animations where he just throws himself into the enemy and does a big massive tumble. It's really, really cool. So then we have the Ungor Spearmen Herd with the shield variant.
Let's go back there a wee bit. Just have a look at those stats on that melee specialist. They seem 230 damage seems rather low. I'm trying to think off the top of my head what like Grimgor etc. have. I'm sure it's way higher than 230.
Now this is your melee specialist. He's a high damage dealer. He's armored, armor piercing. He actually has some very cool, unique animations where he just throws himself into the enemy and does a big massive tumble. It's really, really
Somebody
cool.
will correct me, but I'm sure they're up around the 300-400 mark. Some of them up to 500, aren't they?
Your main kind of anti-large unit that you're going to be using, similar to the Empire where they have the Spearmen and then the Spearmen with shields.
Oh, they do look cool.
Centaurs, the great weapon variant. They're basically, you know, bestial cavalry with great weapons. They're very fast, as are most units for the Beastmen, and they pack a really hard punch. They're meant for armor piercing, so if we've got any great swords and things like that to fight against, I'll be putting them against them. We've got the Razor Gore.
Look at the tails on those things.
Kind of monstrous bestial cavalry, which will just charge in there. It's kind of like an exaggerated direwolf that's just gone crazy. Then we've got Minotaurs again. Now my favorite unit is probably the Bestigor Herd. These are just your standard cool-looking beastmen that carry giant great axes, and they're heavily armored. They pack a huge punch, and they're very expensive to maintain on the campaign. So they're kind of your late-game unit. So let's start the battle, and we'll try and zoom in as we go along. Now apologies in advance for any poor performance on my part in terms of my gameplay, because it's hard to talk and play at the same time.
Oh, Darren, we all know you're a legend. Just before we jump right into the actual battle, I just want to say, like, there's been a lot of neat... See, I mean, that guy there is a wizard and he's got melee weapon strength of 300. And the other guy's the melee expert with 230, and something's a bit funny there. But before we jump right in, yeah, there's been a lot of negative talk around like the price of the DLC and stuff, and I do agree that the price is way too high, but it shouldn't detract from the quality of the content that we're actually getting, because everything we've seen, it looks amazing. It's just, is it amazing for the price? That's really the only question. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
Right, so we've got Malagor moving up. I've got everyone moving up together. I locked the formation to keep them all running at the same speed, and I'll just let you guys soak in the details for a second.
Shame we didn't turn foliage off. That's okay, we'll deal with it.
Alright, it looks like the Hellstorm rocket battery has started firing on my troops, and that's actually going to do quite a lot of damage. The Beastmen have no real heavily armored troops except maybe the Bestigor herd. As you can see, most of them are just skin and cloth. You know, they're a hyper aggressive, fast race, so they sacrifice armor for that speed. So I'm going to have to close the gap to the enemy as fast as possible here. While they're firing on me, there's really nothing I can do. This depression.
Ultra fast, right, we're 418. Just jump back. Slide's being annoying. Speed 58. Speed 85. That's their Cav, right? Yeah, Bestial Cav. Wizard. Speed 36. It's a wizard again. The hover. Where's the speed 58? I'm just looking at, you know, because their main advantage is speed, right? Well, I think their main advantage is Vanguard deployment, is it not? Combined with speed. So you would want to Vanguard deploy them and then like attack from all sides. What are we, 418?
Slightly, but their Hellstone rocket battery has a good arc and is able to fire down on me. Their great cannons are starting to hit the trees and things like that. So, going to take a lot of damage. There's really nothing I can do except get there as quick as possible. However, they've got artillery and I don't. That seems unfair to me. So let's level the playing field and use Savage Dominion. This will enable us to raise a Cygor in the middle of battle.
Nice.
I've seen this animation about 50 times, but it never gets old.
Good
Cygor
lord.
just crawling out of the ground, pulling his way out of the dirt, and then lifting up a rock to throw at the enemy. So the Cygor is going to keep pulling boulders out of the ground wherever he is.
So is he not an actual unit? Like, can you not recruit him? Or can you recruit him plus you can raise him like that?
Because
That's wicked.
most artillery pieces, you know, like trebuchets from Tony or something, have 3 or 4 and they lob rocks. But this guy only lobs one rock because he's just one guy. But
And his weapon strength 397, that's the last thing I'm going to mention it.
To fire at the enemy and then keep him moving after he throws that rock. And that way you can get into combat eventually. So it's best to maximize his... Oh, hang on. We have to see if this hits or not. What a hit. I mean, it almost overshot, but it did pretty good amount of damage.
Yeah, if that hit front on, it would have wiped that unit out.
To
Nice.
maximize the use of a Cygor, you want to start moving him up and get him into combat after he's thrown a few boulders. Or just throw them and then move, throw, move, throw, move, and get him up there. And that's the best way, I think, to maximize the use of a Cygor. Because that way you're using his range, but you're also just getting him in the thick of the combat, causing morale problems for the enemy as well. Alright, so we are encountering quite a lot of problems. Looks like, did something get called down to me? It looked like a Bright Wizard was about to call something down, but I don't know if it went off or not. And the handgunner line is now starting to fire on me as well. So we're going to be taking an incredible amount of damage in this front line. So this is the last ditch effort now to cross the last 100 meters and catch the enemy. Right, so let's get the Gore Bull into some spears again with the axes to back him up. The Bright Wizard is coming down. It looks like he just actually had a miscast, so that's going to lower his health as he comes down. We're engaged on the left. I'm going to pull my spearmen out because the Demigriffs just charge into my axemen and just absolutely kind of wreck them. Again, they've no armor and I'm kind of downhill, so that's going to be really difficult. Malagor's out there by himself, so let's use one of Malagor's spells. We'll use Devolve. And Devolve is a really interesting one. The radius for damage is absolutely massive. It only lasts like 5 or 6 seconds, but it also does a -8 leadership. Now, we're not going to really feel the effects of that leadership now, I wouldn't imagine, because it's quite early on in the fight. So hopefully get to use that.
Oh, nice. Barrel roll.
Everyone in that circle, especially because there was quite a lot grouped up over there. Alright, I'm just trying to find a gap for my Centaurs to get through now. I think I might have messed up my Razorgore kind of herd. Because they're starting to rout now, and they're in the thick of it. So I'm going to try and pull them back out. And what I've just done is cast Transformation of Kadon. So this is the Bray Shaman's Lore of Beast version of raising a monstrous unit onto the battlefield. Now I don't know about you, but if I was on the Empire side, I think I'd be calling GG and running for the hills. You can see, oh look at the Cygor throwing his stones in there, that's so cool. Alright, so
yeah, can you recruit these units or you only get them through your magic, which is such a cool bloody thing though, being able to like raise gigantic monsters.
Most other units. So they do kind of rout quite easily. You need to keep them all grouped together, keep your generals nearby to kind of keep their leadership elevated. Right, let's do a Vile Tide. It's a bit weak on the left, so we'll do a Vile Tide, and that was a little explosion.
Oh, nice.
So that'll kind of scatter the enemy. It's a pretty good explosion in terms of, compared to the other ones in the game. I think it's one of the strongest, except maybe Foot of Gork seems to be one of the best ones. Alright, things are getting pretty hectic again, so I'm going to do another, actually I'm going to do Flock of Doom. It's a little bit more concentrated. I want to get these Demigriff Knights down. So we'll concentrate our spearmen on them. It looks like they know they made a mistake. They should not have come into this group.
What are those falling out of the sky? Is that like bats or something?
So we'll try and chase them down. It looks like I've got a lot of the army on the back foot, and the balance of power is starting to turn into my favor as well. It's starting to go up. So the Manticore is doing good damage, just keeping the kind of gunners units busy and the artillery busy, so they can't keep firing on me.
So damage on those, 17 missile damage, yeah.
Units for the Beastman.
Quite low, but better than nothing, I guess.
I'm gonna try and bring my Bray Wizard out to the left and do some damage out there.
I suppose when you got that dude throwing rocks, you don't need much in the range of missile
I'm a bit worried because there's halberdiers
guys,
and
do you?
spears and greatswords all surrounding my Cygor, so he might be taking a bit of damage now. It's not a good place for him to be in, I don't think.
How does he compare stature-wise to a giant? He kind of seems a bit bigger.
Malagor is actually just broken, so Malagor's on his own, so I'm going to get my archers to fire in on top of him to help it out as well. We'll bring the Razorgore herd, which has come back now to help on the left. The left looks like it's totally breaking though, so it's not looking too good over there. Great Cannon is still firing on me.
Come on, Darren.
Bit of a problem.
Oh.
Alright, we're firing in on those great swords. He is completely surrounded Malagor though with great swords.
Oh, I see that guy get flipped in the air. Oh my god, that's cool.
Free up my Cygor maybe.
Oh, that spell.
He's
Jesus.
actually not taking too much damage considering what he's surrounded by. We've got some units coming back. The Gorebull is back. So we'll send him in as well. Looks like I've freed up Malagor as well. So we'll do another devolve. Now hopefully this leadership will break them completely and then they'll run away.
You got this, Darren. You've got
Seems like
it.
the trick, and it's going to cause damage to them as well, so they ain't coming back. We've got another Flock of Doom in the center.
What's that flying thing he cast that summoned, or was he summoned? Can we have a look at that, Darren? Can we, please? Yeah, that one in there. Yeah, him. Can we go have a look at that? It's just like a griffin or something.
Alright, things are starting to look a bit better. The balance of power is climbing in
Can
my
I
favor. Got some
just
idle
be annoying
units
again
on.
and just have a look? Because he did... Ah, God, if I can get it.
Artillery, hopefully routing them, pulling them off that artillery.
A feral manticore. Okay, nice. 430 damage, nice. 85 speed, we didn't see what his health was at full. Causes 10, yeah, so it's a high damage unit. Awesome.
Alright, things are starting to look a bit better. The balance of power is climbing in my favor. Got some idle units, not really microing them too well, so we'll move them up to the center. Alright, we still have some guys at the back. It's good with the Beastmen, like, they do seem to return once they get behind the solid kind of battle line. They'll return very quickly, so because morale is a bit low, you do need to kind of overpower with numbers, and then always remember to turn your camera around, get the guys that are not doing anything, pull them back in as quick as possible, because they're very quick. They can get back into the combat very quickly. I'll just fire on these Demigriff Knights. I think this might be it. Yeah, that seems to be it. And there we have it, victory.
Nice.
As easy as that. Now, obviously, like I said, talking while playing is difficult. So don't judge me.
Yeah, guys, remember that.
Let's just chase down a few of these guys, have a little zoom in.
Yeah.
See if we can get the.
They do look
the Cygor
very,
fire
very
one
cool,
last-
we have to say.
One last rock at these fleeing Empire handgunners. These scum. It's like, get out of my land.
Oh.
Oh, nice. That's so cool. It never gets old. Alright, and there we have it. It was a Pyrrhic victory. It was quite a difficult battle. I gave the enemy a little bit more than I had. We probably had roughly the same.
Nice. Alright, guys, that's just so cool. I can't wait to play them. It's only, what, 6 days left and we can actually play them for ourselves. That'd be great. Alright, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.